I've got 2 streams going at once. This is like big for me. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this is big.
Who do you think you are now, Eric?
I've now hit the big time. I can stream twice. I love it. So here we go. All right. So it looks like my other stream's running. We'll start that in about 10 minutes. Is the call. We'll start the call in about 10 minutes. But so look at that. Hey, cool. There you are. Look, I can see you on the big screen too.
Boom.
Boom. So for those of you that are joining us or maybe rewatching this, this is my good friend Pierce.
What's up,
Hello,
guys?
Pierce. Welcome on in. So Pierce is a very big Lions fan.
Not an easy life.
How that happens is beyond me, considering he lived out here in Massachusetts
Family.
for some time, but you know.
Actually, it was 01 to 03, so right when Brady took over.
See, that figures. So, give me your take on the Lions right now.
The biggest conundrum in football. We have literally the
right.
best offense in the NFL. Have not put up less than 25 points in any game.
They're averaging 27 points a game.
And I think right around 450 yards. If we did not have the worst defense I've seen in 10 years, Jared Goff would be MVP candidate.
Well, that is part of that's part of that team's MO this year, right? So it's not that, and I don't think anybody would argue that their offense is bad. It's not terrible. And they probably, by right, should have won a lot more games than what they have. The problem becomes
easy.
Their defense is like a sieve. I mean, you and I with no offensive line could run the ball for 200 yards on this team, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I would say is why they are losing. Why they're losing their games is because they score an incredible amount of points, but they can't stop the other team from doing the same thing. And what happens is it becomes a shootout, right?
Yep. And
so
when you have no secondary, that becomes a problem.
Becomes a huge problem, right? So they got no run defense. They're secondary suspect at best, right?
And there's one good linebacker.
And there's one good linebacker.
And he's a rookie.
and he's a rookie to boot. So, all right. So now let's talk about the big elephant. If you're in the room, if you're a Lions fan, let's talk about our good friend, Matt Patricia.
300-pound elephant on your sideline.
So let's talk about the fantastic defensive coordinator, absolute abomination head coach, and suspect offensive coordinator that is Matt Patricia. What is your take on him as a Lions fan? Because out here, right? So he was a great defensive coordinator. He is, I thought I read somewhere he had like a doctorate or a PhD in like
rocket
physics or something like that. It's incredible. He is super smart. He understands schemes. He was a great coordinator. He was a good coach in terms of, hey, you're playing this position wrong. Like attack this play this way. Instead of turning left, turn right and take 2 steps first, and you'll right. He's good at that. Now he goes to the Lions and he proved he was a failed head coach. And now we're reading the last few days, at least out here in Massachusetts, there's a lot of reports coming out that, the players were excited to see him go. Like, they go 6-10. He tried bringing the Patriot way over to the Lions, and they were literally excited to see him go. What was it from the fans' perspective? Because I can tell you, and I'll get to it in a minute, I can tell you what the problem was with the player's side, but what was wrong with him on the fan side besides just not winning?
He just thought he was better than everyone else because he was from New England. It's like, I get it, you guys won, but who else has had any success other than Belichick doing this? The closest one, maybe Bill O'Brien? Maybe? Josh McDaniels was out in Denver 2 years. Crennel busted out of Cleveland, and then Charlie Weiss debacled at Notre Dame. It was just the air of superiority that him and Bob Quinn had, just
right?
trying to find any way to get Jim Caldwell out of there.
So you actually bring up a really good point in that, he's not Bill, right? I mean, nobody's
No
Bill,
is.
right? No, nobody's Bill, and everybody gets that. So what he did was, right, and it was self-admitted, and you could see it, is he tried to bring the quote unquote Patriot way out to Detroit. And here's the problem with that. If you are a player with that system, is he's not Bill Belichick, and that's the problem, because the system is very tough to get along in. Players here, and we're starting to see it now where they're not winning as much the last couple of seasons without Tom Brady. We're starting to see it here where players they want to come here and they want a chance to play with Bill because Bill is who he is. But for all intents and purposes, they don't. And many players that have left have said the same thing. They don't like the grind.
No.
Bill Belichick will grind you until there is nothing left and expect more.
And then there was another thing I read that in his first year, what's his face? Patricia would just berate his players to no end.
Yep.
So and he lost the locker room in a year.
Yeah, and that's a very Belichickian thing to do. It really is.
It was actually Bob Quinn that forced Megatron to retire. Yep. So, all that fighting over $1 million was started by Bob Quinn.
Thanks, you can do that system all you want, but it ain't gonna work unless you're Bill Belichick. You have got to produce Super Bowls for players to put up with that sort of grind and that and that mentality, because nobody wants to do that and not only not win Super Bowls but not have a winning record.
I think he won 12 games in 3 years.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible.
And you and me were talking last night, and I sent you the greatest report ever. It was after his first year. Players are popping champagne and orange juice in the locker room to celebrate 6 months away from him.
That's 6 months away from him.
Yeah, it's January. The season's over. It's like, thank God we don't have to deal with this guy till June.
Right? Isn't that terrible?
And then like years 2 and 3, Stafford started getting injured.
Yes, of course.
He still want to be there.
Give me your take on Zappe. How do you think Zappe's going to do? Third string quarterback. Hoyer's out for a while. It looks like Mac Jones is out for another couple of weeks. What do you predict to see out of the Patriots today with Bailey Zappe?
Be a heavy dose of running the football. 75 carries minimum.
Can they stop the combination of Stevenson and Harris? That's the question.
I like McNeil and Hutch. They just can't play every down. That's the problem.
And what do you think the Lions are going to do on the offensive side, considering between the two teams, the Patriots do have a better defense. It may not be outrageously better, but I would say the Patriots defense is probably a little more solid than not. But
a
now
Big
you're
12
missing
team in college has a better defense than the Lions.
But so now you're missing St. Brown and you're missing DeAndre Swift, right?
St. Brown and Reynolds are back.
Oh, did they come off? I know they were a game time decision, but
Amon-Ra and Reynolds are both playing.
Wow. Okay. So how do we think this is going to work out?
I think you're going to see a lot of St. Brown, and you're not going to like this, but your fantasy team will. Jamal Williams is going to go off for $122 TDs.
Woo! Listen to you calling it. There it is. There's the money for the week, kids.
And Jared Goff gets his usual 353 TDs.
I hope so, because I have Jamal in one of my fantasy leagues, and I got him playing over A.J. Dillon out of Green Bay. So my hope is that he does a lot better. I started him and Harris both from this game. So I'm like, oh, boy. Right. All right. Well, that's going to be our pregame. I'm going to go over and start the regular stream right now. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. We are going to come back here at halftime where Pierce and I are going to talk just for another 10 minutes or so about what's going on in the game, where the game is going to go, and how we think it's going to end. So
good.
I hope you all see us here for our little 10-minute halftime show. And in case you have not noticed, this is the Seinfeld of all YouTube streamers, where it's a show about absolutely nothing and everything all at once. All right, we'll catch up with Pierce at halftime. Head on over to the normal link. It is up. The game is going, and we are going live in 10 minutes. We'll see you in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We'll see you over there. We'll talk to you at halftime, Pierce.
Sounds good, dude.